What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Progress Always, where we build the fittest leaders. Alignment first and progress always. I've got my homegirl, Miriam Uriarte, certified trauma and resilience life coach. We met at Michael Hunter and Natalie Hunter's brand and business workshop, and we got the opportunity to move through some deep work together. And it was absolutely incredible to just get a touch of what you bring to the table as a trauma and resilience life coach. I didn't even know that was the specificity of your practice, but just what you helped me move through in the short time that we had together. It's like, oh, I've got to have a conversation with her. She's amazing. She's awesome at what she does. And she's got the quote unquote touch. So thanks for taking the time, sharing space and energy today. And I'm looking forward to what we're going to talk about.
Absolutely. Thank you, Michael, for having me. And what an honor to see you again.
It was interesting. You know, I'm very much a people watcher, and you know, one of the things that I've carried with me through my life is this hyper vigilance that would otherwise be known as people watching. And as we were moving through the various segments of the workshop over those couple of days, I noticed you moving a lot of emotional energy. And is that something that was just hitting you in that moment? Was that your empathy coming to the surface? Or, you know, where were you at in your own individual process that had you in such a peak state for literally 3 days straight?
Right. Yeah, you said it right. Oh gosh. Man, actually I went with the purpose of if no one has, I don't know if people have done work with Natalie Hunter, but she's absolutely amazing. And I went with an idea in my mind that I literally prayed to God, and I said, as I'm getting to know you, God, because for a long time I wouldn't acknowledge God, and at a deeper level, and so I said, you know what, like, I'm going in all in. And so I want to know what I want to see again. I want my vision back. And so that includes my eyesight, right? But also my inner vision in life. Even if it hurts, I want to see it all.
Okay.
And so I made that commitment, and God began to show me through everyone's working their stuff, like the mirror inside of me.
Yes.
And I was like, ouch, 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 that hurts, and that hurt, and it's like, okay, I see it. And so it was beautiful to see. For those of you that don't know, Michael does the business and side, and they do branding, and then Natalie does the blocks that are in the way of your business, like the emotional energy moving. And so I wanted to, okay, what am I not seeing inside me that I want to see? And so I had a lot of trauma that I had forgotten about, because you have a shadow inside you, and it's the parts of you that no one wants to see. Like, I didn't want to see my shadow. And that's when I was like, I'm ready to see my shadow. And the only way we sometimes see our shadow is seeing someone else.
Yeah.
You see it in them.
I'm going to cut you off really quick on purpose, because as you and I had our one-on-one together, you helped me have through my movement, and we broke state. And very, very soon after that experience, you tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, thank you. Because of what you moved through, you helped me move through something. And what's really interesting about that, and I love to share that dynamic when we have our alignment calls through the alignment village at Next Level. We'll tee it up with mindset, recovery, training, nutrition, or hydration. And at the same time, it's like, okay, but what's the thing? We're talking about sleep, but what's the thing that's actually keeping you up at night? Let's
Yes.
unpack that. And if one of our clients is willing to move through that, to pierce that veil, if you will, it helps everybody else pierce the veil too, even though they're not doing that work directly.
Absolutely.
Right. And that the energy that is bound to that in your work in trauma and resilience, what is the terminology for that dynamic?
Which you experienced,
Yeah.
or okay,
What
because
what what so there's the direct work that I was doing that you were
mm-hmm.
that you were facilitating,
Yes.
right? But then there's the benefit that you received as a result
Yes.
of the work that you observed. What is that
Yeah.
dynamic referred to as?
Ooh, that's a good question, because then when I was a therapist in the past, they would sometimes they call it transference, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they act like it's a bad thing.
Really?
Yeah, because they're like, your stuff's coming out, so now you are projecting they're taking on a role, when really, as long as you're not giving someone else a role, but you're seeing the mirror, you know. So that's a good question. I've
So,
never seen.
let's unpack that really quick. What's the
Mhm.
difference between giving somebody a role and seeing the mirror? Seeing a
Yes.
mirror.
Yeah, so the role is so Michael, now I'm giving you the role of being my father, the father,
Mm-hmm.
the unloved, the father that I needed so badly to love me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you that role,
Mm-hmm.
and then um but because let's just pretend, right? Because
Yeah.
my father did love me. He was amazing, but I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
giving
Yeah.
you an example. Let's just say you have a mother who was not, loving, or a dad, and so you find, so I see it like in counseling. People might want to, you know come to you for advice all the time, because now you are the mother figure that they never
Mm-hmm.
had. And
Right.
so there's no sometimes they don't have the boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
While I see the mirror, it's like, oh, I can see now that that something inside me I needed that wasn't met. I had a
Mm-hmm.
need that was not met. And so now I can see the mirror of my shadow, the parts of me I hid, that I felt lonely, that I felt, um, you know, not good enough, that I felt like a bad person. And so now I can see the mirror of what needs my attention. Does that
Mm-hmm.
make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Versus like, oh, you're not going to meet all my needs, and I'm giving you a role to play. Be my brother, be my sister, be my coach, be my
Mm-hmm.
my father, my mother, my aunt, my grandma, whoever it is that you need them to play that role, because you didn't get that need met.
I feel like that's such a recipe for failure, because that sounds so subconscious that it sets the other person up for failure, because I don't think that is something that somebody is necessarily equipped in these peak emotional states to articulate. That says, hey, I'm giving you the role, this is what you're facilitating for me, unbeknownst to you. If you
Yes.
like, I don't know how you would say that out loud or express that explicitly. So what is the detriment? What is the bad thing that shows up if, because I assume
Yeah.
that a lot of people engage in this practice and at a subconscious level and don't even know that they do it. And they
Yeah.
wonder why, Miriam let me down, and then Michael let me down.
Yes.
And then, like, what the fuck? Everybody's letting me down. Why is this happening? And they just like, why is, now they're in that role of victim. Right.
Yes. And they enter into their patterns, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
they don't see the patterns that they're creating, but they're hijacking and self-sabotaging themselves, because they don't see that they gave someone else a role to meet their needs, versus now you're no longer a child. But see, like you said, it's such a subconscious level
Mm-hmm.
that it's not at a conscious level, so we don't even know that we're doing it.
Yeah.
And the worst part about it is, there's different parts that our psyche created to keep us safe, and the shadow is the one that definitely doesn't want to be seen, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the one that's acting out, the inner child, the shadow.
Yeah.
and and that's the person that's showing up, and not your authentic self.
So the title of this conversation just came to me, walking in the shadows.
Ooh, I love it.
That sounds like such a courageous act. Like why would anybody want to do that?
Yes. So the reason that when I met you at the breakthrough, the business breakthrough, was to, okay, well, I didn't know at the time, but I met my shadow even deeper.
Yeah.
And the reason you meet your shadow is to break your patterns, right?
Okay.
So you can call it either pattern work or you can call it shadow work. Like Carl Jung obviously is the one that kind of does that kind of work. So there's different ways to approach it. But it's kind of like your blind side, the parts of you that you don't see, the patterns that you don't see. And then it's easier to blame someone else because you don't want to deal and confront you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's that 80-20 rule. Like if you're walking in this this state of unknowing, this unconscious incompetence, where you're just constantly projecting your shadow on others, and never dealing with the patterns that come with that shadow.
Well, it's even deeper. You see the shadow in other people.
Yeah.
You don't see it in you, right?
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So you're like, you're not gonna believe Michael is constantly self-sabotaging himself, but because I don't see that I'm self-sabotaging, right? Like,
is it like a game recognized game? Like my shadow, my shadow sees your shadow. Got it. Okay. So I want to dive into this a little bit, since you and I have this real example in the work that we did. And it wasn't even by design. I don't think you had a full grasp on what I do as a coach, and I sure as shit didn't know about your expertise. It was such a surprise. And I wrote a blog about this on coachdurs.com because it was such a profound experience. I was like,
okay, I gotta read it, by the way.
Yeah. I was like, as we started to get into it, you started asking me questions, and then you asked me what's showing up. And this is very much a testament to the work that I've done, because I realized in this moment, because it sounds and felt so ridiculous. Okay. But because of my lived experience, it's like, no, that's what it is. And I'll get to the it. I'm being facetious here for a second. I'm being esoteric on purpose, because when you're doing this work, when you're playing in the shadows, when you're identifying your patterns, it doesn't look the way that you thought it would. It wasn't. What shows up isn't the bully on the playground.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
although sometimes it could be.
It very well could be. But in my particular case, it wasn't anything like that. And you want it to be, because of the deep, I'm crying with you.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And because of our association with our emotions, it's like, especially when we're doing this work with adults, right? Yes. The last time I felt like this, I got punched in the face, or somebody let me down, or I was extremely disappointed, or whatever. And then what shows up is 16-year-old Michael, who got cut from varsity and put on JV. And an older version, less aware version of Michael is like, no, that's not it. And you try to push that to the side and find something quote unquote worse. Like there's no way, because now you're trying to logic your way into the work, and it's not
right.
You know what I mean? Like this is a really important distinction I want to make for the people that are listening.
Yeah.
When you're doing this pattern work, this shadow work, it's really important that you are just hyper present in the moment, and you take what shows up and deal with that, right? Because the last time I was in a peak emotional state like that, it was, daddy issues and whatever. And it's like, no, why am I in this scene in this rocking chair in my living room in Waldorf, Maryland, and I'm on the outside looking in. I'm actually looking at myself. I'm observing myself from the couch where my dad was sitting, where I had this conversation, right?
Yeah.
And for a split second there, I was like, this is dumb. I cannot believe like this is what's showing. It caught me so off guard.
Yeah.
You know, like 16-year-old me, what the fuck? You know, and I wanted to dismiss it. And then I had a moment of clarity. It's like, no, dude, this is like, there's something to unpack here.
Yeah, I'm here. This is what's blocking me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 41-year-old Michael got to talk to 16-year-old Michael.
Yeah.
And help him put that burden down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You remember all this?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
It was like, oh, what the fuck? And you want to dismiss it so bad, because that's like to have the physiological experience that I was having in my emotional body. It did not, I did not have that same association with that scene in my logical mind. So it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So where does I tell that story to ask this question.
Yeah.
Why are we so resistant when it doesn't look the way that we thought it was going to look?
Because so there's different parts of you that showed up, right? Mm-hmm. So the first part, I think Natalie asked us to look at a belief, right? Mm-hmm. And so when we check in and we find it in our body, when I ask my body for information, it's just information, and it's going to show up in a form of tension, of like maybe my heart beating faster, maybe like a ball in my stomach, or like heaviness in my back, or so my body's communicating something to me, right? And so where you were carrying it in your body and you were telling me wasn't connecting to what I was hearing you say, right? So I was like, so I asked you, how old do you feel right now when you share this information to me? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And you said 16 years old. And I said, so what happened to the 16-year-old? Right? And you're like, didn't even want to give me eye contact. We lost eye contact right there. And Michael went to his own place. And so what it was the part of you was your inner child was being felt in your, I could feel it, I could see it in your body, right? And you were telling me the story of the present, but I could feel that it wasn't connecting, right?
Right.
So this is why I invited you to go deeper and ask the inner child, which is your body, and the stories that it tells you, you know, what happened, how old are you right now, right? Because see, we don't know that experience in our life is what sometimes not in your, like in certain cases, that's the kid that's running the show in our life.
Yeah.
Saying, hey coach, put me back in, put me back into varsity, bro. Right. And so then you ask yourself, am I worthy enough, am I smart enough, am I adequate, and so you're constantly trying to prove that to you, but then you're trying to find evidence that it's still true.
Right.
And so the shadow shows up in the sense that, like, I don't want to see that part of me that felt inadequate, that felt like a failure. And now I'm feeling this failure again, and I don't know why I get stuck. I know what I need to do, but I'm not doing it. Why am I stuck? Right? Well, it's because we don't know that the 16-year-old is coming back and saying, hey, that really hurt.
Yeah.
And I need closure. I need to know that I'm good enough, that I'm still adequate, that I'm still a great athlete, smart, etc., etc.
Yep. Man, it's just so interesting to me that even if you wouldn't, even if you didn't move, have like a quote unquote traumatic past, or there's no incident, imprinted incident, a defining moment where you went left instead of right,
Right.
in your conscious experience. How prevalent would you say that dynamic exists in all of us in the work that you've done?
Normally I would show you like a chart.
Yeah.
Spanish in me can't say that word right. I realized that. I'm like, I have to think about it. But when we share about episodic events, is what people consider trauma,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So domestic violence, sexual abuse, military, war, etc. But what we've learned, that's only 20% of the clients that we see.
Okay.
What defines trauma is our ability to regulate our nervous system, after some big event has happened. So, so for us, if we didn't feel, if you felt the whole time you were in your team, like hostile or angry, then you didn't get to regulate you because you were resenting or feeling shame, feeling small, that you were demoted, right? And so your nervous system didn't regulate to say, hey, there's too many boys. Your logical brain wasn't going to make that decision. There's too many boys, so many can make it. And so I'm just happy to play football, right?
Right.
And instead, you continue keeping an environment within yourself, or maybe in the football team, I don't know, and or at home, why, whatever, your environment wasn't regulated enough for you to then reduce inflammation in the nervous system, which is what trauma is, like continual inflammation in the nervous system. And once we dysregulate, once our nervous system, and what it is it's inflammation in either the sympathetic, which is fight or flight, no, fight or flight, or run or flee, or dorsal vagal complex, which is your freeze mode, right? And so what it does is, when I'm driving and a car pulls me, like cuts me off, I immediately need my sympathetic to attack and hit those brakes, right? But if it's now my thoughts activating that inflammation, my nervous system, then I'm now in a chronic state of constantly asking my nervous system to, and when that inflammation happens, your body shuts down and it no longer works the way it should. It's one of the reasons why we in the US have the most like chronic diseases. We think it's because, yeah, it's our eating habits, yeah, it's all that, and yeah, some could be genetic, but most of it is we have chronic stress. And it's through our thinking patterns too, right? Because we're an independent country where it's always about us succeeding, and we have to beat the Jones, or catch up with the Jones, or whatever.
Yeah.
And therefore we never find settlement and content. It's always like go higher, 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 higher. And not that you shouldn't be ambitious, right? But it causes our inflammation of the nervous system to activate constantly. And so when you're in that state, you're not feeling like you are a wonderful person. And so your frontal lobe shuts off, and anything below the only thing that's working is your heart. Your heart is going faster now because it's sending all that blood to that nerve, and your oxygen is going to that nerve. And then your brain gets a dump 38 hormones, adrenaline, cortisol, non-adrenaline, all to give you energy to attack, to run, or to freeze. So that's a lot of information right there.
Yeah, no, I'm tracking. So my son, he's 9 years old, got in his first fist fight the other day. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
No,
Laughing, not
laugh.
laughing.
It's hilarious. Because I've taught him, and I know I'm going to be judged for this, but that's okay. I've taught him escalation of force. Okay.
Mm.
There's 4 levels. Use your words, use your words, break contact, tell an adult, handle that shit. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's a really high threshold and also a really fine line between tell an adult and handle that shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's playing dodgeball and he gets this kid out who doesn't want to be out. And my son is very much an idealist. We follow the rules. This is the way it is. Yeah. And he's telling his kid, he's like, this kid wants to stay in, older kid. You're out, man. You're out. Well, the kid comes over to Tristan and gives him a couple of punches. Well, Tristan has also been in jiu-jitsu for like a while now. He takes this kid back. The kid crumbles, folds like a wet dishcloth on the ground. Then Tristan beat his ass.
Done. Yeah.
And so the fight gets broken up. Everybody moves on. Like casual observers witness this whole thing happen. Whatever. And I was really happy, like from a societal perspective, that it was like, oh, these are boys being boys.
Yeah.
And so like nothing bad happened beyond that. Yeah. Right. They just broke them up. You go play over there, and life goes on. Right. Well, beautiful. They come home and he doesn't know what to think because I'm so anti-bully in this house. It's like, dude, if you start that shit, we're having a different conversation. So he doesn't know what to think. He doesn't have a clue. He's like paranoid as shit. How's dad going to respond? And he's giving me the play-by-play. And I'm like, dude, that's stage 4. Now you know where the line is. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what we should have done in retrospect is just kept him at home to take a nap. Right. But we sent him to jiu-jitsu. And my wife texts me and she says, he's so tired. I was like, yeah. Well, yeah, that 5 seconds was like 5 days worth of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And what he's experiencing physically and emotionally is that adrenaline dump, like that flush.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
All I want to do is take a nap. Right.
And you just said correctly, because it takes 8 to 32 hours for your hormones for your liver and your body to metabolize all those hormones that he got dumped to get that energy to attack.
For that 5 seconds. Yeah. What did you refer to these moments as? These events?
Oh, environmental stressors?
No.
Which one?
Not trauma, but not an
episodic.
An episodic event. So so if I'm hearing you correctly, it takes almost a day and a half to come back to homeostasis after an episodic event.
Yeah. And
holy shit. So I have to dive in here because this is like, if you don't take that time and you're moving from episodic event to episodic event, now you have, am I like compounding interest?
Yeah.
So now you're extending how long it's going to take you to come back to neutral.
Yeah. It can take 8 to 30 some hours, right? To metabolize.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yes. So this is, it's called, this is what the polyvagal theory is, right? It's Dr. Peter Levine introduced it, and then it's been, evolutionized and replicated. And but yeah, it takes it for him being so young, it could take 8 hours versus us older 30. Sure. And the reason is 32, 34, 36. But yeah, you can be getting dumps every 4 hours.
Yeah. And probably not because of your I don't know, tolerance or how familiar that environment is to you. You're probably not even conscious that that's happening. You're just all of a sudden you're just tired. I hit the wall, like holy shit. And now what does that lived experience look like? Like chronic fatigue? Yes. Hair trigger anger.
And remember, a lot of inflammation in your belly, because that your body can't like metabolize it that fast, so it stores in your belly, right? And then you have aches and pains sometimes because your body is trying to get rid of this, right? So it can go back to homeostasis. If you're eating an apple, it cannot digest it well because it says, I got something more important. I got a fire going on in my sympathetic nervous system. I better deal with that fire before I can even eat this, process this apple.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. So, there's like the dogma out there right now that if you heal the gut, you take care of everything else. But what I'm hearing is there's a system that needs attention before we even get to the gut.
Yeah, and they work together. Like I always
Okay.
tell people that your gut, and I'm not a this is what I've been studying with my own practice, and also I work at Pride Health Institute. Is Dr. Pride is our chiropractor, and he does, you got to come see him. He does a lot of somatic work too, but he does KST and all these awesome things that I can't name right now. But he so I began, one of the reasons we joined practices is because I began to send all my clients to him because he helps regulate the nervous system. But sometimes your nervous system is saying, I'm not ready for that. I have something emotional first to deal with.
Yes.
Or it could be even the gut, right? So when you were born, you didn't come out talking because your brain wasn't developed. So how did your mom know you were hungry?
Right. You cried.
What
You
did you?
screamed.
Yes, you
Yeah.
attacked. You attacked.
Yeah. Yes.
You attacked. Your nervous system told the belly, right? Or your nervous system told your brain. Well, your belly first told your nervous system, and your nervous system told your brain, right?
Yep.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not a doctor or all those professionals. Just with my experience with my clients, right? That I've seen. And so he, when you were little, your body was very dependent of what it told the brain.
Yeah.
So we work from the bottom up, but a lot of people now, and part of the activation of the nervous system that's so chronic, especially here in the US, is us abandoning the body, right? And not really listening to what it has to say to us. And so the belly, I would say, was our first brain.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it would inform them, the nervous system. But you're right, if it won't, the belly won't work well if the nervous system has priority work.
Yeah. Okay.
So
it's an issue of priority, not
yeah.
so much a sequence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not one or the other. It's kind of like right now, you and I are talking, and if if my son started burning a tortilla,
Yeah.
and then forgot all about it, which has happened before.
Yeah.
And he started a fire in the kitchen. I wouldn't say, hey, Michael, don't worry about the fire. My son's got it.
Yeah.
Do you think I would say that?
No.
Yeah. I'd be like, bro, I gotta go. Nice talking to you. Gotta go.
Yep.
And that's what your nervous system does. It tells your body, we have a priority here. We have inflammation. We have fire. That if we don't put it down, it's gonna cause, your body's brilliant, right? And it knows that it's gonna cause a lot more problems.
Right.
It's the number one reason for disease and sickness.
Right.
And to be honest, it's a very easy. It sounds like an easy problem, right? Hey, just reduce stress. That's all. Don't.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, but so the third, the polyvagal talks poly meaning many nerves, and the vagal is all the vagus nervous system. So poly meaning like many, it's about 10 nerves, and we have the vagus nerve, which is what allows us to regulate our nervous system through motion. So motion is going to be like stretching.
Yep.
Because if I'm stretching right here, the polyvagal can start here all the way to my feet, like the nerves.
Yeah.
And so when you're stretching, like we're squeezing the nerve and asking it, and it's reducing. So the more stretching we do, yoga, and then the second one is communication. right? And relationship, right? So the more that we are in communication and in relationship, it calms our nervous system. So your son, if he felt seen by you,
Yeah.
if he felt heard and understood, then his nervous system relaxed
Yeah.
because you were in communication with him, you were in relationship with him. And
Mm-hmm.
so the relationship is what's going to heal the nervous system, reduce that inflammation.
Yes.
So motion, communication, I mean, I'm missing a lot more, but you
Yeah.
get the, the gist of it
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
I took us elsewhere.
No. This is good because what I'm getting from you is an invitation to truly tap in, right? And feel. And for many people, when we take our clients through exercises like this, it's the first time they've felt something in a long time.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
And it's not a conscious suppression. We make the joke in the fitness community that we hide our emotions in our muscles. I'm just going to go train my problems away.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
these 6-pack abs are not an aesthetic. It's me hiding my trauma.
It's therapy.
But
it's true.
But what you're talking about, this construct that we use in our practice, getting our clients we use fitness as the gateway for leadership and character development.
Yeah.
And why that's important, why we take that approach is very much to what you're talking about, in that you've got to take care of the physical vessel.
Yeah.
It's really important for a lot of reasons to have a physical practice.
Yes.
And which creates emotional regularity.
Yes.
Footnote or whatever, hormonal regularity.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Which creates mental clarity and allows you to show up as your highest and best spiritual self. Right.
Absolutely.
And so like that's I'm hearing a lot of congruence in what you do in your approach and the frameworks that we use at Next Level.
Yes, and I love what you said, because there's a difference between idolizing your body and using it as a, like, let's just say a temple, right? Because it is, when you're healthy emotionally, physically, spiritually, then you can serve others and you can lead, right? And a lot of people, so when I was very young, I was sexually abused, and I had no idea, like, as I grew up. So I was addicted to working out. It was my therapy. And I had no idea at the time. I was too young, because I threw in my shadow the part of me that had been abused. And so I did not realize, like, that I mean, the minute I felt anxious, I would go work out. I would, the minute I felt any emotion, because I had shut that down because it was too painful and too uncomfortable. Right. So when I was getting certified to be a trauma informed as a therapist, I was pissed when I found out that I had to slow down, and I had to, like, now do yoga. What? Heck no. You want me to feel my body? No, thank you.
What you're describing is not unusual in what we do. When people come to us thinking like, oh, if I lose 40 pounds, like the rest of my life is going to be awesome. And it's like, well, yes. And that's not where we're going to start.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, what the fuck? I came for the workout program, the keys to the city. Tell me how to eat. And it's like, oh, no. Because all we're going to do is we're going to start fixing shit until it breaks again. And that, and that doesn't help you.
Yep.
And it was really interesting when I gave this presentation to a cash pay counseling practice. I asked, this is 18 clinicians who have people on their couch every hour on the hour all day long. And I just asked them very simply, you know, how much of what you recommend for your people, again, coming back to this whole, you've got to take care of the physical vessel because it unlocks everything else. It really does. Is to tell them to do more, right? Go hike, go work out, take this, you know, and what they're unintentionally doing sometimes is creating more friction, putting more stress on the system, right? Driving up regulating that sympathetic as opposed to down regulating it, right? And it's the right guidance at the wrong time. Right. And
yes, exactly.
So when so when people come to us and they're like, okay, so we're not gonna touch fitness. We want to get in the groove. We want to create the space to make that happen, but you're gonna walk. No barbells, no intensity. What the fuck? You know, that doesn't make any sense. It's like, no. So like when you come home from work, you're not gonna run in the house and just like magically switch gears and give your kids all their attention. No. You need a transition routine. You're going to do 10 breaths in this sequence. And we're going to give you a mantra. Work is done and I am home. 10 breaths. Right. And you're just like, that's dumb. That's what I'm paying you for. Like the resistance that bubbles up in people. And it's like, trust the process.
Right.
And after a couple of weeks, like, oh my God, like for like the first time in like conscious memory, I was home with my family and all, and like I haven't touched a weight yet, and I'm down 10 pounds, right?
Yes,
because you're not inflamed.
Yep, exactly.
And your productivity skyrocketed at work because you're not preoccupied with all the balls that you dropped at home.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like this is the shit that's important.
Yep.
And if you take care of that, to your point, the 40 pounds, the 6-pack abs, getting off your blood pressure medication, like all that stuff takes care of itself.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I love that. I had a client tell me, Miriam, I'm stuck losing weight. I can't lose weight. And she was, she had told me, I've been obese all my life. And when we began to unpack, in fact, I told her, I don't want to see you alone from now on. I need you to bring your husband. I do that a lot. And I won't see children unless they bring a parent because the environment has to be conducive. Immediately, the first week, when she came back the next week, she's like, I don't know what happened. I lost 7 pounds from the day that I saw her to the next day. And then she just, and it was because you're not like tight and constricted anymore. And you're now like having compassion for yourself, love, understanding. And it was just one session. This is why I transitioned to life coaching, because in Western medicine we have to do an intake and then send them home, and then they can't take anything with them. It's like you just trigger the crap out of them and then you sent them home, because time ran out, or whatever. Like who's blame? And all these boundaries, and it's like, no, when they come, they want immediate, like, we can just, as easy as, I remember one time a client, I worked for Trauma Healing Services. It was a contract for victims of criminal, it was a grant for victims of criminal acts. And I would see Hispanic women because obviously I speak Spanish. And I remember she couldn't even, like, she was so anxious, she couldn't even talk to me. And all I said was like, you know what? Like, let's just lift up our hands and just like stretch them out, right? One little exercise, that's it. Lifted up your hands, and I'm like, if you want to sway, whatever you want to do. And then I said, and then I'm like, let's breathe while we do this, come back. That's all I did, right? All we did. And when she was done, she gave me eye contact. She wasn't even like, that's how much like dysregulated she was. She couldn't even give me eye contact. I'm not gonna say, hey, you're not giving me eye contact. It's like, I noticed the minute you notice someone's dysregulated, you just kind of, I told her, like, you know what? I've been sitting all day. Can I stretch? do you want,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, maybe it'll help you. So I didn't say you're dysregulated. It was more like, I need to stretch myself because, man, I sit all day,
Yeah.
and I was just modeling to her, like, and the minute we did that, she gave me contact and she said, I was so nervous, I almost didn't come see you, and now I don't know what happened, but I feel great. And I'm like, I don't know what
Yeah.
happened. Right.
Uh-huh.
And the thing is, like, people, when they begin to acknowledge that their body is your body's brilliant too, it wants to protect you, and
Mm-hmm.
it thinks it needs protection, and that's part of the shadow, the ego, all the parts of us that came out. But when we begin to see, it's just I think that I'm in danger.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time hearing what people have to say because maybe it'll make me a bad person. And
Yeah.
and you realize it's just stories you tell yourself. It's not really true.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a shift, and you said something, but I always try to write things down so I don't forget because I get excited and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I love what you guys are doing. This is awesome because,
Thanks.
yeah, it's funny because I was telling my ex-husband's a nutritionist, and he did body um fitness,
Bodybuilding.
yeah, and all
Yeah.
the things, and I told him the other day, I said, you know what, I think you need to join our practice so that it could be, you know they're doing work with you and then they can come to work with me, and then, start with the food, start with,
Mm-hmm.
and then, you know when they do exercises with me and then they're ready to work out with you. So
Mm-hmm.
I love that you're doing it all already.
Oh man, it's been an evolutionary process. And there was a really long time there where as it was coming together, it wasn't. They were just running parallel to each other, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was this vertical of our practice where we were having this really deep, high frequency leadership and character development conversation.
Yeah.
And then in the container that was our brick and mortar training facility, it was all fitness. And the predominance, the vast majority of the conversation was limited to that physical practice. And it was just it was a big challenge to get those things to intersect.
Yeah.
The personal growth and development side of the house, was like for a bit was like the secret society that nobody knew about. And they're like, hey, is that do I gotta be invited to that club? What the fuck is all that? What's going on? And it wasn't until we sunset the gym and created the alignment village that we were able to create a intersection for those conversations. So now the conversation that we have is both high frequency and integrated into the lifestyle. So now everybody's vibing on the same frequency and they understand or are gaining an understanding for all the things that we're talking about right here, right now. Because how many people come to you like completely unaware that their physical practice is part of the equation? Or how many people are hiding their emotions in their muscles, knowing that, man, if I just got this shit off my chest,
Yeah.
and I told my 16-year-old self that it was going to be okay, you don't have to prove shit to nobody, it's already been proven, you're here now.
Yeah.
Like how much better they would be. And it sounds so simple.
Yeah.
It really does. But it takes you made mention. I don't see kids without their parents because the environment has to be right. Set and setting matter so
Absolutely.
much. Excuse me. You can't. It's really tough unless you just know where you're at or you just do not give a shit. You can't do that work. You can't have this conversation at the bar.
Right.
And
some people try to. It's just saying.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And we talked about, somebody that's close to you. And, here's a question, how challenging is it for you with what you know, let alone your practice,
Mhm.
how challenging is it for you not to do your voodoo on everybody all the time? Are you very intentional and like, nope, you're my friend and I'm here to fucking listen? Or is it like, girl, I got the answer for you, go do, like, how do you manage that?
So for a long time, I people, didn't ask, so I didn't tell them. Like I've had friends who I played volleyball for a long time. I played volleyball, sand volleyball. I never told them what I did. They never asked. I never told, right?
Uh-huh.
And some of my girlfriends, what do you do? But then it was just there. And
Mm-hmm.
then I don't know where the switch happened
Yeah.
that they're like started asking questions.
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden everyone started poking, And so it gave me permission to open my mouth.
Yeah.
And now I can't shut it,
Right.
Um, but but I did learn something. Like speaking of today, I was in the sauna, and one of my girlfriends and I were in the sauna, and she was asking me all these questions, and I was trying to answer without like some people were in the sauna, and so
Uh-huh.
like without sounding so nerdy or
Yeah.
like okay, we're not in a therapy session, so how do I sound not therapeutic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember what I said, so this guy turns around and he goes, so you're a therapist? And I'm like, how did you know? And I was like, and she goes, well, you can ask her anything right now. And so so
Yeah.
he goes, can I ask you something? She goes, you can. And I'm like, and he goes, I love how you're answering questions for her.
Yeah.
And it was really sweet because he was very vulnerable, and he was
Mm-hmm.
just like, how do I his question was, how do I why is it so easy for me to lead someone else and tell them how to do things, but yet I'm not doing it?
Yeah.
And the first word I said, and then he explained something. I don't remember what he said, and I said integrity, and he goes, "What?" And I'm like, "Well, you don't know your values, and you're not living them through your values, so
Yeah.
you haven't really directed your life according to your values, so you're not in
Mm-hmm.
alignment with you, right?" And then she turned around and she goes, anyone else have more questions? I wanted to die. I'm like, yeah, I'm not on the clock right now, but I've learned that I do love this so much
Mm-hmm.
but I have to learn to turn it off so that I can actually go have fun.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
Because it's a balance of learning to go be playful and fun. And
Mm-hmm.
this is why I go play volleyball,
Yeah.
and attempt to go to the sauna without trying to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um, but yeah, I love it because it's hard for me to keep my mouth shut when I see something so obvious sometimes.
Yeah. Well, my experience of you is very deep empathy. Like
Yeah.
in our interaction, you not only felt me sitting in front of you, but I in that out of body experience, I also stepped outside of me and observed us.
Yeah.
And you also were observing 16-year-old me.
Yeah.
I don't know what that manifested like physically or visually for you. But that I can only imagine that's part of what makes you so good at what you do.
Mm,
And there's also a dark side of that coin where it can if you're not intentional, it can infiltrate of
yeah.
all the other areas of your life too.
Yeah. For example, when we were at this in our breakthrough, I actually was intentional about I was being selfish.
Yeah.
Um, I was like, you know what? I'm here for me, and I'm here to grow. But when I'm with us in a session
Yeah.
or interacting with others, I it's not that I'm not vulnerable. It's just that I'm in a different role. You know,
Yes.
I have a friend who is a pastor of a church, and he tells people, well, when you see her now, but wait until you get her in a session, she'll
Yeah.
flip and she's like, she's a different person. And I'm like, I'm no longer, because I enter into that, space, that energy
Yep.
space. And one thing I learned about others, is when someone's not able to feel their feelings, I will feel them, meaning,
Yes.
and it's not, I don't call it empathy. It's just like they're not releasing. So I start releasing for them. And, and it doesn't mean that I'm releasing, like sobbing, it's kind of
Yeah.
like,
Right.
but my body feels it, and then I can share with them, what are you feeling? Where are you feeling in your body?
Yeah.
And I know I could feel because I could see their body,
Mm-hmm.
but I can also feel mine. So I'm like,
Yeah.
and they're like, I don't know, because there's a lot of people who are so disconnected to their body
Yes.
that they're like, I don't feel nothing. And
Uh-huh.
I'm like, and because I feel it in my belly or my chest or my back, I'm like, check in with your belly. What are you feeling there? Oh
Uh-huh.
yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
then I say, and then test it. Let's test it. Check your chest, check your back. Nope,
Yeah.
not there, not there. So then I know that it's not mine, right?
Yes.
I feel it in my body so that I know that that's what's
Yeah.
happening there.
Mm-hmm.
And then my body releases because it's not mine. This isn't my stuff. It's
Right.
theirs. And
Yeah.
so, but at the breakthrough, yes, I was very selfish, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get like, so I went intentionally, not knowing that this is what was for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't realize that everyone was gonna be a mirror of what I needed,
Correct.
whether it wasn't the same story, but it was a need or a
Yep.
belief. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
all like, shucks, not again. That belief again.
No, that that's also interesting to me when folks sign. And to be completely honest with you, I didn't know I was going to get all that shit. You know what I mean? I really didn't. And I was telling my partner Joanna about it, and she was like, "Of course you ended up in that room. Like those are the only rooms that
You land.
those are the only rooms that you get invited to, whether you fucking know it or not, you know?"
Yeah,
And
it's your soul contract, right? That's what
yeah, dude,
Natalie says.
100%. And
Mhm,
I was giving Michael feedback on the
mhm.
experience
Yeah.
and like everything that I'd taken away from it and this, that, and the other. And uh I thought it was a beautifully curated experience from the standpoint that when I got up in front of the room and did that
Yeah.
work with Natalie, and everybody else had had whatever they needed to move, they were able to move,
Yep.
right? That's when you've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Right. That's when you have an experience that is so dialed in that
Yeah.
you've not only created a safe space for the individual to do their work, but
Yes.
you've also curated an environment that by virtue of that sheer observation,
Yes.
everybody else gets to move their shit too.
Yes. And I forget what that word is because you asked earlier what it was, but there is a
Transference,
word.
right?
Well, transference is when you give someone a role, like,
Okay. Yep.
in therapy, but there's a role, like it's something like conscious, because that's why I love group work,
Yeah.
because you see yourself in someone else,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
this is why I love group work, because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't like it because I have to be vulnerable, but it's like, if you really want growth,
Yes.
it's gonna force you, and it doesn't have to be a big group, sometimes
Right.
5 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
I try to do smaller groups, 5 to 10 or more, because then um yeah, it could be a lot, like,
Yeah.
and but when you get to do that group work,
Mm-hmm.
you just, like what you just said, everyone's benefiting from just the example of someone else, because
Yes.
so that just tells us that we all have similar hurts.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that was the coaching upgrade that I got,
Yeah.
was the 4 core wounds.
Yes.
I was like, oh fuck, man, like
Yeah.
there's 4. That's it. Okay, cool. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it when you feel bad, when you feel lonely, when you feel like there's not enough, or you feel unsafe? What game are we playing right now?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I shared this with Michael because I walked out of that experience straight into a handful of coaching sessions where that stuff had
Creating.
such high utility. I mean, I was over the moon with the
Yes.
breakthrough that my clients got as a result of just asking some very strategic questions around those wounds and
Yeah.
then helping them move through the veil, so to speak, on that
Yes.
stuff, put it down, you know,
Yeah.
and it's just absolutely incredible, absolutely incredible. So and
Yes.
it also put me in the presence of, you know, great practitioners like yourself, you know.
Yeah.
So like I'm super honored to have done that work with you, to be in that same container with you. And now you know, you and I are friends, and
Yeah.
I have absolutely no doubt that we are going to collaborate on something cool. You are
Absolutely.
now a resource for our
Yes.
tribe inside the Alignment Village. I'm so excited for, you know, what comes next in
Yeah.
us knowing each other. And to that end, where can the audience find you, learn from you, be guided by you?
Yeah. So yeah, first of all, thank you for all of that. And also, yes, I was very honored, and I think I'm very um I always know that God always orchestrates everything for
Mm-hmm.
our good. And it was just divine intervention to have us all in the same room. And I
Mm-hmm.
immediately gravitated towards you and your buddy.
Mm-hmm.
um, and you just have this warmth, right, and this presence of just confidence, and but also leadership, that
Mm-hmm.
everyone was drawn to you. And so, we were so grateful to have that leadership in you, and then also to role model first, like, hey, I'm gonna take one for the team, and I'm just gonna be vulnerable in front of everyone. And uh and then and then later on, what a divine intervention that we get to sit together,
Mm-hmm.
and I get to see even the most beautiful parts of you. And so
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's just an honor, because it's not just everyone that gets to. Now, I do believe it's all like a divine intervention, like it
Yeah.
was meant to happen, right?
Yeah.
And we all had breakthroughs, but I think, you had a lot more because you came so open, but you also lead so many. And
Mm-hmm.
so knowing what it feels like so that you can experience it, because I think one of the hardest things for us practitioners is sometimes people know when you're constipated emotionally. They can
Yeah.
feel you. They're like, wait, why aren't-" and so when you go through the work,
Mm-hmm.
and people feel the confidence because you've been there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Yeah.
that's what makes it so beautiful for you as you are moving on and creating so many breakthroughs for the others, is because you went through it first.
Yeah.
And
I appreciate
so
that.
yeah,
I
so thank
received that fully.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so right now I am located on Dobson and Baseline. I joined Pride Health Institute, and we so right now online, I think I only have availability certain days, but they can also connect with me at my email, miriam@miriamuriarte.com. I had a Pride Health Institute, but I don't know how to log into it. I'm cool like that.
Right.
So I finally just got my own email again. So it's Miriam@miriamuriarte.com if you have questions or want different availabilities. But yeah, we've done some podcasts, as you know, and
Yeah.
we're gonna start them up again soon. So that'll be available as well later on.
Sign me up. I'm in.
Yeah, yes, and you are definitely, definitely. And yeah, I definitely look forward to connecting,
Mm-hmm.
more often with you, and then getting, obviously my clients need you as well.
Yeah, we're for it. You know, that's a sweet spot that we're finding in terms of being the bridge
Yeah,
between those sessions for lifestyle integration. So happy to do it. We'll make that happen 100%.
absolutely. Well, you're my friend now, and I'm gonna keep
Yeah,
bothering you.
that's
So
it. That's it. Pester me. I got it.
yes,
For everybody out there listening, remember, To be the fittest leader, it requires integrity, courage, and ownership. And we're here to build the scaffolding that supports your greatness inside the alignment village. So if you have questions or you're ready to get going, head over to nextlevelpfc.com and we'll get you taken care of. Remember, it's alignment first and progress always. We'll see you next time.